You will notice, without anyone telling you, with no logical explanation, with no message, but you will notice a gentle warmth in your chest, a shiver down your neck, a longing that didn't just start now. It comes from before, from within, from afar. And when it comes, don't try to ignore it, because it's real. It's that person. They thought of you with such intensity, with so many feelings hidden away, with so much unspoken love, that it crossed the distance. That broke through logic and touched you. You will notice. You'll feel the urge to look up at the sky, or you might stop for a second in the middle of something ordinary and take a deeper breath. You'll remember her smile. Or maybe you won't remember anything specific, but you'll feel a presence, something that can't be explained but that you feel, like a hug coming from the invisible, like a soundless whisper but echoing in your heart. You will notice, because your soul already knows this touch. It already knows who it is. It wasn't imagination. It wasn't coincidence. It was presence. And when love is true, it learns to communicate even when everything is silent, even when there is no more contact, even when paths have diverged, even when time has passed. Her heart called out to you, and yours responded, because soul ties don't need eyes. They thrive on perceptions. You're not going crazy, you're starting to notice, noticing that there is something greater than logic, greater than reason, greater than circumstances. It's when the entire universe seems to bend just to create that exact moment when you both connect in spirit. It's as if she is there, even when she's not. And somehow, she is, thinking of you, feeling you, calling out to you, and you will notice. Maybe it will come as a sudden memory. Maybe you'll wake up with her on your mind, or feel the urge to listen to that specific song, or cry out of the blue, but you will know, you will recognize. This connection is never lost. It just changes form, it adapts to the invisible, and blooms in the soul. And when this happens, everything around seems to stop. Time slows down. The body reacts with a light shiver. Intuition lights up like a candle in the dark. And you realize that you are not alone, that someone in silence has chosen you in thought, with affection, with longing, with truth, and even without words, even from a distance. Her love has reached you, because the heart has secret pathways, and when one heart calls, the other listens. You might even try to deny it, distract your mind, keep yourself busy with other things, but something inside you will continue to echo. She thought of me, and she really did, and she felt, and she reached out to you. You will notice, because this is not something you invent, this is something you feel. And it is in the silence of the things that matter most that the soul learns to listen. Notice. This moment right now, this presence that is slowly approaching, this urge to close your eyes for a few seconds, it does not come without reason. It comes because there is a greater force trying to reach you, a frequency that only you and she understand, a connection that has never been cut. It may have been set aside, ignored, but never cut. Because a soul's love does not fade away. It only goes quiet. And sometimes it just waits for the right moment to return. And now, it is coming back. Not as before. Not in the same way, but as energy, as a signal, as warmth that arrives without explanation. You might even try to rationalize it, but something inside you already knows, has already noticed. You are being remembered with affection, and this affection is so strong, so real, that it has created an invisible bridge to you, and it has crossed over. Have you felt this before? Comment. I needed to hear this, because those who have felt it know. Those who have experienced this presence understand. You can't explain it with word, but the heart understands. And when it understands, it becomes moved. It connects, it opens up again. You don't need to do anything, just notice. You don't need to chase after it. Just feel. True love doesn't invade. It whispers, it respects, but it returns. In the form of longing, in the form of dreams, in the form of intuition. It comes back when you least expect it, but when you need it the most. And you who were starting to forget what it felt like to be remembered with tenderness will realize. You will realize that there is still someone who feels you in silence, who sends you love without expecting anything in return, who still thinks of you as someone who cares from afar. It's not a prison, it's love with freedom. It's presence with respect. It's a soul connection. And that's why it hurts, yes, but it also heals. Have you noticed this? Have you experienced something like this? Tell me in the comments, because what you feel isn't just yours. You share this with her, even without knowing, even without speaking. And deep down you've been aware of it for a long time. You just needed a sign, a confirmation. And now you are reading this. Is this a coincidence for you? Or are you starting to realize? And there's something even deeper that you might have never told anyone. This connection scares you, because it goes beyond what you can control. It happens even when you don't want it to, even when you try to forget. And sometimes you feel this presence just when you're about to follow another path, as if something is saying, wait, it's not over yet. And that's when the soul trembles, because it realizes that there's something that hasn't died, it has only fallen asleep. And now it's waking up again. Have you noticed how certain memories return with scent, color, and temperature, as if time hadn't passed? This happens because there is a living energy between the two of you, an energy that time couldn't erase. It may have been muffled, yes, but it hasn't been erased, and it comes to the surface when her heart beats too strongly. When longing exceeds the limits, when love refuses to be silenced, and then you feel it out of nowhere. But it's not out of nowhere, it's from within, it's from there, it's from her. Do you realize that? Because the more you try to rationalize, the more your heart insists on remembering. And in this very moment, while you're reading these words and she might be thinking of you, with her eyes closed, with a lump in her throat, with the name you vibrating inside her chest, and you notice. You notice through the silence that becomes full, through the air that changes density, through the invisible touch in the middle of your chest. You are not alone. You never were. The spiritual connection between two souls that love each other doesn't depend on physical presence. It happens on another plane, a plane where there are no distances, where feeling is a language, and silence is what speaks the most. You will notice it doesn't force, but it remains in every shiver, in every thought that comes out of nowhere. In every subtle sign, all of this is her. Do you notice? Because there's more. There's still something you don't fully understand, but your body already does. You realize this when something in the environment changes, when everything is normal, and suddenly a different silence. A strange pause in time. A second that seems to last longer. It's there. It's in that exact moment that her soul brushes against you, as if to say, hey man, I'm here. Are you there? Do you feel it too? And you feel it, even if you deny it, even if you distract yourself, even if you try to forget, you notice. Because there's a presence that doesn't go unnoticed. There's a soul that leaves invisible marks. There's a connection that no amount of time or distance can break. Have you noticed how your heart changes its rhythm when she appears in your mind? As if your whole body knows. As if your spirit says, she's back. And she comes back. One way or another, she comes back. And it doesn't matter how much time has passed. It doesn't matter if you moved on with your life, if you made other choices, if you tried to erase it. Because she doesn't come to bind you, she comes to remind you of what was real, of what still pulses, of what hasn't died. That's why you feel this warmth, this presence, this longing that has no name. Because your connection isn't about logic, it's about perception. And you perceive. Even when you try to pretend otherwise, even when you close your eyes and act like you've forgotten, but the heart doesn't forget what truly made it vibrate. And yours still responds when she thinks of you. It's as if her energy seeks you out in silence and finds a home in you. Do you feel it? Comment. I feel that presence. Some things can't be explained. They can only be felt and recognized. Have you ever noticed that there are days when out of nowhere you feel more sensitive, more emotional, more open? And usually, on those days, she's thinking of you, or she's dreaming of you, or she's remembering. And that memory creates a field, a vibration, a wave of love that travels to you and touches you, enfolds you, calls to you. And you, even without understanding why, feel an urge to close your eyes, or feel a longing for something you can't quite explain. It's her. It's that spiritual bond you share. It's not imagination. It's perception. And your soul already knows. It has felt it before. It has recognized it. And now, once again, she's drawing near, with the power of a thought filled with emotion, with the courage of a heart that still loves, and you will notice. Because love, when it's real, leaves subtle marks on the soul. And even if the mind wants to forget, the spirit remembers and responds with a shiver, with a sigh, with a memory, or with that strange feeling that you are being watched with affection. Don't be startled. Allow yourself. She just wants you to know she still thinks of you, she still feels, she still cares, even in silence. Have you noticed this in dreams, waking up with the feeling that she was with you, even without remembering what you dreamed? This isn't just daydreaming, it's harmony. Sometimes she finds you in the dream world because it's the only place where nothing can hold her back. It's the only place where love has no barriers, and you feel it upon waking. You feel that something stayed, something gentle, but intense. And the day begins differently, because her spirit visited you and you noticed. You may not know what to do with this. And that's okay, you don't need to act, just feel, just notice, because not everything needs to be solved with action. Some things just ask for presence, silent presence, like the one you're feeling right now. It's there, watching you from afar, reminding you with the heart. And even if you never see each other again, this feeling has already marked both of you. Notice that. Notice how in some moments you feel a strange lightness, or a longing that doesn't hurt and it just calms. It's true love, the kind that doesn't demand, doesn't require, doesn't hold you back. It just loves, from wherever it is, as it can. And you feel it, you perceive it. You're not crazy, you're connected, you're being called. And even without knowing how, something in you responds, I'm here, I feel it too. Makes too much sense, I know. And yet it feels like there's something more trying to reveal itself, because when you start to notice, nothing goes back to how it was before. You begin to feel everything more deeply. You start to notice the subtleties. You begin to recognize the signs that have always been there, but now they speak. Like that day when you were distracted and an old song played, and your heart responded with a sweet pain, as if to say, this is it, this was ours. Or when you were walking down the street and smelled a familiar fragrance in the air, a scent that stopped you, that penetrated you. And in that moment you didn't think, you noticed it was her. Because the body feels what the mind has yet to understand. Because the soul recognizes before reason accepts it. And every time this happens, it's her coming closer again. It's her love finding a crack in your routine to touch you. Have you noticed how your mood changes for no apparent reason? There are days when you wake up feeling more vulnerable, quieter, more sensitive, as if you're waiting for something or someone, and maybe that's exactly it. Maybe your spirit is getting ready to welcome her, even if only in thought, even if only in silence. You realize, God, that there's a weight that doesn't tire because it's a weight of the soul. And the soul doesn't rush. It only feels. Maybe she's feeling the same right now, over there on the other side, in the place where her missing presence resides. Maybe she's remembering the sound of your laughter, or the moments when you looked at her without saying a word, but said everything. And no matter how much she tries to occupy her mind, there are days when your name pulses strongly within her, with presence, with truth, and she feels, and you do too. Because true love never fades away. It might hide, it might be silent, but it never disappears. It transforms into presence, into intuition, into an invisible message. And when it arrives, you feel it, you realize it. Sometimes you try to distract yourself, but something inside you is restless, and then that memory comes, that urge to reach out, to know if everything's okay, to see a sign. You open a social media app, and unintentionally you come across her name, or someone comments something similar, or a number repeats itself, and you realize it was her, again. Because her energy is aligned with yours and that no one can erase. You can try to forget, but the universe doesn't allow something real to fade away like that. Not before it has been fully lived. Not before it has been understood. That's why it comes back, that's why it pulses, that's why it insists. Because there's something between you that is still alive. I'm not saying you need to go back, or that you need to seek each other out. I'm saying there's a love that has transcended everything, and still vibrates, and that alone is immense. You can deny what you feel, but you can't pretend you don't notice, that you don't feel that chill when you think of her. That tear that slowly comes when you hear certain words. This is the heart saying, Sham, there's something here. And there is indeed, something that can't be explained, but that can be felt with all your soul. Do you feel that? Comment, this is what I'm feeling right now. Because the more you recognize it, the stronger that presence becomes. And love. Love is grateful. It doesn't want to be forgotten, it doesn't want to be ignored, it just wants to be acknowledged. That's all. And when you acknowledge it, it's like a door opens within you. A door to what is purest, truest, most intimate. Because this connection wasn't by chance. It happened for a reason that you may not understand yet, but your soul understands. And that's why you still feel. That's why you still respond. It may be far away, yes, but love, that is close, closer than you think. Closer than you allow, and it will continue to touch you in the quietest moments, on the most random days, on nights when you wake without reason. Because sometimes it wakes up thinking of you too, and in that very instant, something between you reconnects. Even if no one sees, even if no one knows, you perceive it, and that changes everything. And now that you've come this far, listen to me with your heart. It wasn't by coincidence. This reading found you at the right time, on the exact day when your soul needed to remember everything it already knew, but was forgetting. You perceived it, felt that presence, recognized that love. And even if nothing changes outside, something within you has already changed. It has already awakened. Don't fight against it. Let yourself feel, let it resonate, because perceiving is the first step to healing. It's the beginning of a new awareness, where the invisible starts to make sense. Now I want to invite you to be a part of this with me. If this text spoke to you, subscribe here to the channel, not only to receive more messages like this, but to remind you, every time you forget, that you are not alone on this sensitive journey. Comment down below. Have you ever felt that presence out of nowhere? That shiver that comes as a sign that someone from afar is still thinking of you? Share with me. I read everything. And if this message touched your heart, leave a like now, not for ego, but for the algorithm to take this invisible hug to those who need it most today, because true love deserves to be noticed and felt always.